Good morning, everybody. Here we are again. It's Sunday morning. Nice, rainy day here in Western Oregon. Good morning to get moody. Put some pancakes on. Get the coffee hot. Let's listen to some soft and subtle music, shall we? Gonna bring out one this morning, very special to me. Should be very special to everyone. It has some really great stuff included on it. When we're talking about ambient and environmental music, it doesn't get any better than what the Japanese were doing. They, in my opinion, are credited with creating the genre. Could probably go into a little bit of the history here when talking about environmental and ambient music. Some could say the first time that ever took place, there was a series of people that were tasked with composing some music that was to take place for some gatherings and banquet dinners and things like that associated with, I think, the 1962 Olympic Games, somewhere in the early 60s when the Olympics were in Tokyo, way back when. And some individuals were tasked with creating some ambient and environmental type music to take place at these gatherings where it was just going to be like part of the atmosphere, and it probably took place at some sort of like expo center or something like that. Anyway, that was credited as being kind of like the first appearance of what could be coined or considered ambient type of music. And that kind of took hold and created a genre, inspired a whole nation of people over there. But really where it all kind of developed and came from, the Japanese have been doing it for centuries. The Japanese, everyone knows, are craftsmen of epic proportions, and they can take even the most subtle, simple, mundane things and turn them into an art form. That's what people of the East Asian world are really well known for, and masters of their craft. And they were doing things in their gardening techniques around their homes, where they would arrange metal plates and put them in and around koi ponds and waterfalls, so that droplets of water would accentuate and hit these brass plates and bells, and give off an ambient environmental song in your garden, that type of thing. And arranging bells in temples and things like that would ring certain songs at certain types of day, certain times of the day, and things like that. You know what I mean? Those types of like subtle artistry that that's where the genre began. And pretty amazing what those folks are capable of in that culture, and pretty cool. And it's really represented well on this incredible box set, Kankyo Ongaku, which I believe translates literally to environmental music or spatial music. Like I said, these guys are just, it's pure art form and what they're capable of. And so this is a collection of all Japanese artists from the early 80s, from 1980, I believe, all the way up through 1990, I think. And it's all just environmental, ambient, new age mastery from that era. Pretty incredible, pretty amazing stuff. And my favorite part about this is that you're going to get a little piece of everything. You're going to get it spans that entire decade. So you're going to get, some of the more kind of real, soft, subtle musicality mixed with classical stylings that you hear from individuals like Hiroshi Yoshimura is on this quite a bit. I think he has at least 2 or 3 cuts on this. Composers who are even more famous modern day for doing film music and things, Ryuichi Sakamoto, he's on this quite a bit. So you get a lot of those classical stylings, and then you also get kind of like the more kind of like spaced out, ethereal, I mean, I guess you could say edgy in a sense. Nothing about this genre really is ever very edgy, but stuff that gets a little bit more kind of like, pop music influenced, and goes to some kind of quirky, interesting places. Artists like Ashikawa, what is his name? Yeah, Satoshi Ashikawa. The other lady, Todori, really famous album that she did. Anyway, yeah, artists like that. You have appearances by that great band. The Yellow Magic Orchestra is on this. Yeah, it's just 3 discs of just insanely awesome, beautiful, all kinds of interesting architectural design on the cover of each of these. A really fantastic ornate booklet that goes into a lot of the descriptions about each individual piece, which I really appreciate and love. They outline every artist in here and the piece that was contributed. So you have like a little bit of an insider kind of like, idea of what was trying to be conveyed. And just, it transcends, the culture barrier, this type of music and what these individuals were doing. And what an incredible bridge to gap cultures, this type of music, because it's so universal and it's something that is so visceral and just part of us all. Everyone loves those types of just kind of like music that just kind of becomes a part of the atmosphere and just kind of engulfs you. A lot of these artists, they go into they give a big shout out to Brian Eno, obviously, because he was also in the Western world kind of credited and, furthering and really taking this genre into, popular culture and introducing it to the Western world by way of the popular culture. So Brian Eno, of course, was credited for his 1977 masterpiece Ambient 1, the music for airports, and so they go into depth and into thanking him for really kind of coining actually and giving it the name of ambient music, wherein he kind of took what they were doing and kind of like put a Western spin on it, a European spin. So yeah, this is a really, really fantastic piece of work. It's incredibly affordable. It's really popular. Go to your local record store, they'll have it. I'm guaranteeing you it's probably not going to be any more than $40, $45. Put out by that really fantastic record company, Light in the Attic Records. I talk about them quite a bit. Love them dearly. They're putting out lots of really fun, interesting shit for us to listen to. So I appreciate and love them for that. But yeah, anyone that appreciates and loves the subtle sounds, especially stuff that was put out by those wonderful Japanese folk, you'll just adore. You'll adore and love that one. And it's the gift that keeps on giving, quite literally. It's almost still, I've had it for years, and almost every time I put it on, I still, I hear something, I'm like, I don't think I've ever really heard this before. I've never really paid attention, because it just becomes part of the day, becomes part of the afternoon. The only thing that kind of sucks you out of your little you know, your little reality that you've created within your four walls. You know, it's the fact that you have to go over and you have to flip the disc over every 25 minutes. But yeah, it's easy to get lost in this wonderful music. So yeah, everybody get the great box set Kankyo Ongaku. It's 1980 to 1990 Japanese ambient, environmental, and electronic new age music. Yeah, it's been out for a couple years now, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me on this Sunday morning for some Tinkle tunes. I'm gonna go fire up the griddle, get the kids out of bed. It's time for some baking eggs. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Peace be with you. Until next time.